and covered his head with furry purry kisses. "What am I gonna do with you, Mr. Cocoa Bugs?" she scolded. That night, when he was supposed to be going to sleep, Skippy John began to bounce and bounce on his big boy bed. "Oh, I'm Skippy John Jones with a mind of my own, and I'll bounce on my bed for hours. I know I'm a cat, but forget about that. Say good night, Skippy John Jones," called his mother. "Buenos noches, mi amigos," said Skippy John Jones. The end.
But
Excuse me, baby, I gotta get up.
after I put my
Alright, welcome back, aviators. So what we have here, we have our template that we cut out in the last part of the video. What I put over here is a block. Basically, it keeps this half of the plane paint free, and all I'm going to do is push my template up against that once I find out where I want it, and then I can just kind of tape the sections down. In my last video, or my last paint job that I did, the MiG-29 V1, which is the one I got all the compliments and comments about, I actually used pins, and I pinned all these little points in. Put a bunch of tiny little pinholes in the foam, which wasn't a big deal, but I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to attempt to use tape. And the first part I'm going to paint is going to be this forward section, the teardrops. So I'm going to hold in the second part in between the teardrop and the scallop is going to stay on this plane the entire time I'm painting. So all I'm going to do is put a little piece of tape over the top of it, all the way onto my block, my scrap piece of wood if you want to call it that. Take the template off. This is the portion I'm going to paint first. And all of this, where you're going to be painting on here is going to be determined by the colors that you paint are going to determine the order in which you paint them. So obviously first I'm going to do this front section right here, all the teardrops or the paint drops or whatever you want to call them. And the only problem I have is sometimes when you're doing the front of this, the air can scoop under, which is why I use the pin. This time I'm going to attempt just to kind of hold it and paint underneath it, and we'll see how that goes. If it's moving around a bunch, then I don't know, figure something out. But for now, we're going to get to painting.